Hello, everyone, and welcome to the content webinar by DICM. This webinar series, which takes place on the third Wednesday of each month, aims to share insights and experiences from experts in the industry. For this month, we will be covering navigating the changing landscape of movie distributions. Okay, I will be moderating this session. My name is Zena Malouf, and I am the CEO and founder of Taareb Localization Agency. And with me will be two outstanding speakers, Mr. Rony Mitri, Managing Director of Content Bridge, and Sinan Mawad, founder and CEO of Writables. Let me start by giving you a brief about what is Taareb. I will start, let me share the screen with you. Okay. Okay. Taareb Localization Agency is a localization house. We provide translation services, and we are specialized in subtitling and dubbing. So we provide localization services from transcription to subtitling and dubbing. Of course, we provide other translation services, but our main focus is media translation. And we are very proud to work with very well-known names in the market, such as OSN and NBC Shahid. Of course, we work with other brands like financial one, maybe legal. But as I said before, our main focus is media translation, subtitling, and dubbing. Without further ado, I will not speak much about myself. So I will give the mic to Mr. Rony, and I will let him introduce himself. Mr. Rony, the mic is with you.
Hello, thank you, Zena. Thank you. My name is Rony Mitri. I'm the Managing Director and co-founder of Content Bridge. Content Bridge is a media consultancy company. For the past 20 years, I have been dedicated to bridging content and creating connections within the media industry. In today's session, we're going to be discussing the theatrical market in the GCC. So allow me to take you through a small presentation to explain more the theatrical industry and the theatrical market. We took the year 2023 as an example in order to be accurate with numbers. So I will share my screen for now. Apparently, Zena, I'm facing the same problem. Share my screen. Let's see how to do that. All right, here we go. So basically, we're gonna go straight to the next slide. Now, in the we're talking about the theatrical market in the GCC. We are talking into we're gonna go through several points. The first one, we're going to talk about the movie released in GCC cinemas in 2023. So just to give you an idea on the amount of movies that is being released, and we're going to talk a little bit about the difference. So as you can see, the GCC market in 2023 had a lot of movies, 278 films, Hollywood. We had 193 Bollywood movies and only 42 Arabic movies. Now, it all depends on the amount of production that the producers are providing to the market. And if we look at the numbers of 2023, we're going to realize that that's a huge amount of numbers, a huge amount of movies that is being released in the cinema. I would love to highlight something that the cinema in the GCC is still very, very, very attractive. It's still a to-go place. It's still a beautiful entertainment. People are still preferring cinema when they would like to watch a movie, and that it's gonna be explained with the numbers that we're gonna show in the next slide and the one after that. Let's go to the next slide. Here we go. So I would love to discuss the market share a little bit to give you a clearer idea about how those movies that we just saw in the previous slide, how do we translate them when it comes to moviegoers? So in 2023, we had an accurate of 46 million moviegoer in the GCC. And now we're gonna, as you can see, we have divided them through countries. So KSA is taking the lead on 44%, the UAE is 33%, Kuwait 11%, and then we go Qatar, Bahrain, and Oman 5% and 3% and 3%. Now, this amount of admission is definitely translated to a huge amount of money that is contributing to the industry and to the economy of all of those countries. I'm gonna go to the next slide. Now, this is how we know if the market there's still room to grow, and is by comparing the population versus the moviegoers. Now, as you can see, that in Saudi, we have 54% of the population going to the cinema. Now, why? Because the cinema is still brand new. I think this is the new kid on the block. As you can see that Saudi is taking the lead when it comes to number of admissions. Saudi is the future of income when it comes to theatrical releases. Saudi is growing every single quarter, not every single year, in a beautiful, healthy way. And the upcoming 5 years, I think what we are going to see, we're gonna cross the 100% when it comes to moviegoers versus the population. In the UAE, it's definitely an older market. It's more mature, 142%. So comparing to the population, so people are actually attracted to cinema from all generations. Kuwait as well, we are on 117%. And I'm not going to highlight the other countries. I'm going to only highlight the first three because they describe the whole concept. But the focus in here is to show that how healthy is the UAE. We crossed already 100%. It's definitely more mature. And how beautiful is KSA, and how lucky we are, noticing a new market in our region growing as healthy as KSA is growing in our industry. Let's go to the other slide. All right, now, last but not least, I would love to highlight, definitely local content is our focus as distributors and as content providers. I'm gonna highlight a couple of movies, and as you can see under each and every one of them, I did mention the number of admissions that movie did in the region. So the first Arabic movie so far is Bahabbak. Not sure if you guys watched the movie, it's amazing. And Ammom after that, Zico is number 3, after Gala is number 4. But if you can see the numbers, they are very close to each other when it comes to admission. I'm going to show you 4 more that goes after those 4. We are still in the close to 1 million with Wahad Tani. Then we dropped to 800,000, but yet again, we are very, very close to 1 million with the number 6, 7, and 8. Mr. X, Mish Ana, and Bet Rawabi. Now, definitely those as well, they are very, very popular on all the OTT platforms that they're playing on. But theatrically, those were the 8 top Arabic movies so far in the region. Thank you very, very, very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop it for us, and I will be more than happy to answer and elaborate on any subject that you love me to talk about.
Thank you, Rony, for the informative and valuable presentation with all numbers. And now I will move to Sinan Mawad, founder and CEO of Writables. I would like to introduce Sinan. He's a good friend of mine. And guys, you will be surprised that Sinan is coming from engineering background to conquer the creative world as a writer and entrepreneur. Sinan established Writable Bags in 2018 to be the first script-on-demand platform in the Arab world. In addition to providing pre-production services, and writables, they are aware of the importance of mixing talent and the latest technology to leverage audiovisual production. I will let Sinan tell you more about it through his presentation. Sinan, please take the mic.
Thank you so much, Zena, for the lovely introduction. And let me start by thanking you for having me. And I'm really honored to be here today speaking at this great panel. So first of all, to start, let me share my screen. Hopefully, yeah, it's working. Yeah. So since our topic today is about distribution mainly, I would like just to take a step back and go to the basics and list, as you can see, the 5 phases of the production of any audiovisual product. So the steps are simple. We start with the development phase, where the script is selected or created. And then we move to the pre-production phase, where casting, budgeting, and the whole team is on board. And then we go to the third phase, which is the production, where the actual shooting of the product happens. And phase number 4 is the post-production, which is the editing and the coloring, among, of course, other things, happens. Now, those 4 phases are crucial for any audiovisual product. And finally, we have the distribution phase. Now, traditionally speaking, the distribution phase used to happen at the end of the other phases. So we have an audiovisual product, and then the distributor will take that product and go to the end clients and distribute it. And now, one of the core things that has been changing recently is that the distribution phase is taking a place at the development phase. So what's happening now is that the end client is stepping in and choosing the product, the audiovisual product, before it's actually being shot. So there is a script, they like it, and then they commission it, or they give a green light to go ahead for the production before we have the audiovisual product itself. And of course, that's a major change. I believe it's a good one. Yet it changes the whole dynamic of the whole industry. And let me just share some numbers with you to emphasize on that part. So on a yearly basis, in the MENA region, we have around 50,000 written scripts that are being registered for the intellectual property rights. And on yearly average as well, we have around 350 to 500 audiovisual production. That, of course, includes films, includes TV series, programs, documentaries, a lot of other audiovisual products. But on average, these are the numbers that we are talking about. Now, one of the things that are changing also dramatically in the region is the infusing of technology and data collection to make right decisions and to get to know the audience, what they like, what they prefer, and based on that, to provide to the loyal audiences of the video on demand or the streaming services, the audiovisual products that they would like to see. Now, the whole dynamic changes when assuming an executive in a video on demand or a streaming service is choosing from a pool of 350 to 500 audiovisual productions versus choosing from around 50,000 written scripts. This is a whole a new formula, let's say. And this is where technology jumps in, data collection, AI, a lot of other products that is available in the market now to ease the life of the executives and give a clear indication on what the audience might like and what is less risky than other. And this is just something that I would like to share with you. I would like to move on to, after this part, this is where Writables comes in actually. So in 2019, we started Writables and we had that concept in mind. Since a lot of end clients are going to commission a project from the development phase, then we need an entity, or we need some sort of an idea that collects a certain percentage of the 50,000 written scripts, goes through them, filter them by genre, by location, by all of that, and have this comprehensive marketplace for scripts where people can go in the cases that they want to commission a project in the development phase, and they can see everything available in the market. So that being said, we started Writables, and it's the first script-on-demand platform in the MENA region, where we receive scripts from writers all over the world. All what you have to do is just create an account, submit your script. Our team will go through it, will give it a grade, and if it's a good script, then we will publish it on our platform. And from the other end, we have production houses, and we have end clients that goes and look for what they need or what the audience they have needs, and based on that, the deals happen. Now, of course, technology doesn't stop at a marketplace. We want to evolve even more and more, since the world is changing rapidly. So moving on, we are developing a full ecosystem, a full digital ecosystem, because integrating AI in the filtration or the selection process will help us a lot in data collection, in analyzing the data that we collect, and in giving indicators on what will work and what might not work, to say the least. And this is one of the, I think, the last slide I have, which is some of the services that we provide and the script-on-demand platform that we have. So if you are an end client, you can go online, just like Netflix or Shahid, you will see all the available scripts. You can click on it, you will see the episodes, the treatment, and if you like something, you will go ahead with it. And if you are a writer or a content creator, definitely also you will do the same. You will submit your project, you will hear from us with a comprehensive report on how good or the weak points and the strong point that you have in your scripts. And once we approve the script, it will be published on the platform. So this is it from my side. One last thing on the ecosystem, the digital ecosystem. I would like to mention something about the other phases as well. So I talked a lot about the development phase, but if we want to jump to the pre-production phase, integrating AI and technologies available today will help a lot in other phases. Let's take, for example, the storyboard. Having a script ready and having the tool, the luxury of AI to be able to read that script and generate storyboards, that is a feature. That feature by itself is amazing. It will help us with allocating the exact number of days for the shooting. It will give a perspective to the director and the DOPs and a lot of other implementation. So with that, I will end my talk, and please feel free to have any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and I will happily respond. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sinan, for the amazing presentation. And now, guys, I will move to the questions. I've prepared some questions for our speakers. And of course, I would like to thank you for the amazing presentation. And it was really an eye-opener. For me, it was the first time like knowing all those numbers and how the process is made. So the first question, I think, will be for both Mr. Rony and Sinan. What are the primary challenges distribution companies are encountering nowadays in a rapidly evolving landscape, especially with the advancement technology, since we have now AI, AR, and VR. Let me start with Mr. Rony.
Thank you, Zena. It's an amazing question. You know, at Content Bridge, we have actually 3 pillars that we that we work with every single day. We finance productions, we actually produce, and we distribute. So this is like the base of what we do. And what you have just asked today is the key challenge that we face every single day. I'm going to highlight a couple of challenges that we have. To me, one of the most challenging thing that is happening every single year is the cost of production and the cost of content. I mean, the cost is becoming very, very high, and it's becoming very challenging to sell and distribute in order to cover the or to justify the cost of content, either if we're buying a ready content from Hollywood or from Egypt, or we're producing ourselves. The second challenge that we have is piracy. Piracy quality is going, it's amazingly good nowadays, and it's although we're trying, we are hiring international companies to fight piracy, but it's honestly, it's not helping much. One more challenge that we have, that we face every single day, is the international reach for our local content. Our local content, if it's not bought or distributed by one of our local OTT platforms, it's a challenge to put it on an international platform, and if it's not ready for localization. One more thing that I can think about is the competition, the straight competition from the video on demand, and that's what Sinan just highlighted. I mean, video on demand today, or the OTT platforms, are creating their own originals, and they are creating a content that they know it works for them. And us not having full access on their database will sometimes keep a couple of our content in a very challenging position to be sold or to be distributed. I think Sinan can highlight more the challenge that AI and AR and VR are attacking us also left, right, and center, especially with the youngest generation. But from my side, I think those challenges are what we are facing every single day, and what we are trying to sort every single day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rony.
It was very clear. What do you think, Sinan?
Yeah, thank you, Rony, so much. It was a very insightful answer. I would just like to add to that definitely utilizing AI and having a centralized database to know the audience, the Arab audience, and what their preferences is, it will help us a lot in making, let's say, the right decision. And definitely it will minimize the risk of investing in audiovisual products, because the industry it's very attractive, and a lot of people are doing amazing jobs, but yet we lack data collection as a comprehensive audience, and yet we lack the analytics of this data collection. I believe this is one of the most challenging part in the industry today. And I believe once there is some sort of an idea or a collaboration between, let's say, the main players, which are the video on demands that are commissioning or taking local productions, I think the whole industry will have a boost. So yeah, data collection, to summarize, the biggest challenge is data collection as a comprehensive audience, plus analyzing this data.
That's so true. That's so true, Sinan. Now, the good thing that we have data from cinemas, the good thing that we do have access on the theatrical data, and honestly, this is what is helping us today as content owners to acquire better, and at least to know what the audience wants. But yet again, the cinema audience is not the same as the OTT audience. So you are
exactly, yeah,
it's definitely a big challenge.
So the next question will be for Sinan. How can we utilize AI and other top-notch technology to enhance the production industry as a whole? What do you think, Sinan?
Yes, that's a very good question, Zena. I believe that utilizing AI to analyze data, that is a very good way to minimize the risk for an investor from outside of the industry, because technically one of the biggest risks for investors is that they don't know if that production or audiovisual product they are investing in will have a good ROI or no. And that's a valid question from the investor perspectives. So how can we sort this out? By two things. First of all, adapting to the new system that the end clients is heavily investing in, which is commissioning projects from the development phase, especially as Rony mentioned in their original productions, which is a very healthy kind of business model. So this will give an indicator to the investor that this project, if you invest in, well, this video on demand is on board. So that minimizes the risk. And AI can help sort this out in so many ways, like just the idea of going through 50,000 scripts and filtering the top 10 and providing those top 10 as a shortlist to any end client. This is a very intriguing idea by itself. So AI can help on so many levels, yet it can, Rony mentioned something very important as well, which is the cost of production. It's very costly nowadays to make a movie or to make a TV series. So utilizing AI to have an optimized budget and to have a storyboards with the exact sequence and exact frames and exact number of days for the shooting will help a lot to optimize the cost, optimize the budget, and therefore, I don't want to say guaranteeing, but to a certain extent, minimizing the risk to the bare minimum for the investor. Because most of the productions, they face some sort of a problem. They assume, based on experience, that this type of a movie or this genre of a TV series will take 45 days of shooting or 60 days of shooting. The team on the crew and the cast, they go on set and they start shooting, and they are delayed for whatever reasons. The director is not fully on board at a certain thing, and the whole production period get delayed. And each day it gets delayed, this is an additional cost that will be bared by the people who are funding the production. And this is a major problem that definitely AI can help to optimize. So I think that's a comprehensive answer, yeah.
Thank you, Sinan, for the detailed answer. My next question will be for Rony. Consumers' behaviors are constantly changing in fast-paced environment. Not to mention that Gen Z is imposing new rules now in the market. With all this, can you define what are the main key trends?
All right. Now, I think you know by now, Zena, that I'm pro-cinema. And I believe that cinema is something that should stay there till forever. And I'm going to prove it right now, with Gen Z or without Gen Z. Bad Boys, the movie that was just released, it did approximately 1 million admission in 6 days. That means that Gen Z and Gen A and the dinosaurs that I belong to, everybody went to the cinema and everybody went for that particular experience. That to start, to make a point. But yes, definitely, I mean, the short format content is being more and more attractive for Gen Z right now, and they are dictating the length of the content. Definitely, they are trying to impose on us as filmmakers something different than the long format content that we are used to. Something more live, something more close to what they're living day to day. But I'm still with the idea that long format content, series and movies, especially with the new mini series that the OTT are supporting right now, and we are supporting as content creators and content owners, is also attracting Gen Z with different genres.
Amazing, Rony. Now I feel more relieved now after this answer. My next question will be, how can we use AI to minimize the risk of investment in the production industry? Sinan, I would like you to start.
This question, Zena, is very similar to the earlier question. So I'm gonna have a very similar answer to that. But I would like to add one extra point. AI can be used in so many ways, or not only AI, like basic data collection, let's say. And it is being used by big VODs, let's say by like Shahid or like Netflix or OSN or Todd or any of those amazing VODs. And they are utilizing those data to to maintain their loyal audience. So let's say a certain VOD have 10 million subscribers, and 9 million out of those 10, they are going and watching a certain type or a certain genre. Then definitely the investment will be based on that. They will produce more shows that are similar to what their loyal audience wants. And this is key because this will allow the executives at those end clients to allocate a certain budget to invest in new genres and to attract new subscribers. And this by itself, utilizing this amount of data in a proper way, I believe can enhance the investment in the genres that are already available, and allowing to have new genres and new, let's say, type of shows available on each VODs. So, this is an added layer to my previous answer.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Rony, do you want to add something?
I would love to add something.
Please.
Now, when it comes to content, it also includes journalism, and it also includes live journalism, like the news. And I was surprised in the AI film festival that happened in Dubai a couple of months ago, that journalism is going so quick when it comes to AI, especially preparing news, filtering news from all over the world. And usually it takes a lot of time and energy and manpower in order to do that. And apparently those guys, including Sinan, they're very, very quick when it comes on deploying AI in the news and collecting data and filtering that data in a way that instead of us, the audience, watching 5 or 6 major events from all around the world, because usually it needs 7 to 8 hours to filter those events. Now you can have triple. Now, while we speak, you can have triple that amount. Imagine what's going to happen in a year. Imagine how quick this is moving when it comes to that part of the content. That means what we are discussing today, like the entertainment content, is going to be super quick. It's going to be, you never know, we might not watch cooking shows during Ramadan anymore. You never know what AI is going to be dictating on OTT platforms and television channel, or we might only watch cooking channels during Ramadan. So I just wanted to highlight that AI in content is not only with movies and series, it's also with the other part.
Yeah, thank you. Back to the challenges. And streaming services, OTTPs, already changed the market map. Mr. Rony, this question is for you. How do you describe the effect it has on the traditional distribution methods?
Look, Zena, years and years ago, we used to take a content, produce it, and go sell it to a television channel or to an OTT platform. Then those OTT platforms decided to do their own, because they have their own data. And this is where something, as we discussed before, me and Sinan, the original content, as you can see, like Netflix original or Shahid original, it's their own. I mean, their own. It was done according to their own database, to their own clientele, to their own audience. So this became a challenge for us. The exclusive rights. Now everybody wants to differentiate himself. So we used to sell the same movie or the same series to all the OTT platforms, and that gave us a bigger footprint as content owners. And now a lot of the OTT platforms are willing to pay more to have exclusivity on the content, so they can attract more clients and they can have a higher number of subscribers. I think those are, because we spoke about the other stuff that are also challenging us as distributors. But I think those two in this answering your question are can be highlighted very, very clearly. Now, I'm sure there are more, but gonna only stick to those two for now.
Okay, thank you so much. It's a question for you both guys. To what extent data and analytics are considered when putting a strategy to understanding audience performances? Do you want to complete, Mr. Rony? Then we will go back to Sinan.
3 words, all the way.
Okay, okay.
Well, I agree with Ronnie 100%. It helps a great deal, to a great extent. It helps. Actually, one of the things that we have to discuss at a certain point is the infrastructure that we have in the MENA region for production as an industry. And one of the main pillars for any infrastructure is data collection and indicators and KPIs and all of that. And as of today, we do lack that a lot. Each and the client or each streaming services or channel have their own internal system for their own loyal audience. And I believe there is a great opportunity and a great potential just in that specific area.
Okay, the next question will be also for you both. Sinan, how VR, AR, AI are influencing movie distribution, and what are the future trends, and how main players, in your opinion, are getting ready for the upcoming changes?
Well, that's a very good question, Zena. But to be honest with you, there are a lot of factors that are still unknown, to be honest with you, at this stage in time. So, what's the future trends? I believe the taste of the audiences and like the age group preferences will not change a lot. Like millennials will always watch something related to drama or impossible love stories, and Gen Z will always have the taste to watch something that is short and support a character that is rebellious. And Generation Alpha or the age group above 50 will always like something that is long and social drama discussing family issues and stuff like that. So the taste, and it's crucial to discriminate between the trends and the audience taste. So I don't believe that the audience taste will change as a group, but what we need to focus on to discriminate between those two and to understand the challenge is to have objectives from each project. Like if we are doing a show about and the target audience of that show is Generation Z, then we need to have realistic objectives towards that show. Of course, millennials might not watch that. So we cannot expect from a show targeted to Generation Z to be watched by everyone. So I think utilizing AI, and this is where technology in general will step in, is to have realistic objectives from each production or from each decision. This is what I think.
Thank you, Sinan. And Mr. Rony, what do you think?
I'll stick to what Sinan said. If you guys remember when IMAX was released, I'm going back to cinema every single time because we have all the numbers, we have all the data, we have everything in front of us, so we can actually go back and refer to an actual fact that is happening. And yet again, because the OTT platforms does not share their numbers and their trends, they keep it for themselves, and it's totally understandable. When they released the IMAX, they started to push a lot of 3D movies, and if you look at the numbers, it was nothing to be compared to the normal traditional way of watching content. And then we started seeing the trend of 3D televisions in houses. And how many people do you know that they bought the 3D television and they never used those glasses? And you're gonna tell me, yeah, but the content is not available. Again, we go back, content, to make it 3D, content is already expensive. To make a 3D content, that's even more expensive. So I think short format content is the easiest example to answer your question for VR in specific. I think more investment should be done over there. I think it's an excellent experience for content in general, because if you try a proper VR with the proper content, you realize that, you know what, that's an experience that I want to live. I want to be there. I want to experience that 3D. I want to experience me being in the moment. Unfortunately, we cannot see enough investment over there. And when it comes to our local content, our Arabic content, I don't think there's any investment over there.
Yeah, and Zena, if you allow me, I would just like to add one more thing to what Rony said. Rony touched on something very important. VR is completely different than any other thing, and I believe it will pick up greatly in content related to games because it's an experience by itself. So let's assume there is I don't know a title that has a great audience behind. Utilizing the IP of that title to create a VR game will be more attractive, definitely for Generation Z, to be part of that experience, other than just wearing the glasses of the VR and watching the content there. I think also this is something worth mentioning.
Yeah, and they're paying a lot of money. I mean, they're moving way faster than us.
I
Gaming,
totally
Yes,
agree.
exactly.
gaming industry.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Excellent
Because
question.
it's
Thank you.
interactive. My next, now I will move on to the audience question. And the first question will be for you, Rony. How does Content Bridge leverage data and analytics to inform distribution decisions?
Okay. Somebody wants to learn my secrets. Okay. All right. Listen, we have to divide it. All right, because it all starts with the movie acquisition and the movie production, if it's our production or not. So we use a lot of data in order to decide on what to acquire. And oh yes, because again, if we're acquiring a Hollywood movie, we acquire on the script stage. So basically, we know nothing. We know a script, we know the production company, and we know the director. Now, having enough data, you will know that that production company is gonna produce this quality of movies, and that director is gonna use those actors, and he's gonna select an excellent DOP, and he's gonna make. So we use a lot of data in order to understand. But I need to highlight that our experience is 50% of the acquisition decision. So data is very, very important, but experience plays a big role. And I will give you a live example. If you take the US data and you're acquiring a movie for Jason Statham, for example, an amazing action star. If you look at all the numbers in the US, you will not buy the movie. But you knowing your market, and you know that your market loves the action that that actor gives to the screen, you're gonna go and buy the movie. For the US market, doesn't make any sense. For the European market, doesn't make any sense. But for us, makes a huge difference. So I say it's a 50-50. We do use a lot of data, and we do use a lot of experience at the same time. Now when we go to distribution, again, we're gonna divide it into two. Theatrical distribution is very straightforward. So we know that this genre with those actors are gonna make this much money. And again, I'm talking in the normal situations, no force majeure involved, no corona coming on the way, and no raining for 5 days. And we're talking about the normal standard distribution ambiance. When it comes to OTT, for example, we know that for Arabic content, there are specific genres. History showed us that specific genres OTT are attracted to specific genres, comedy, action, for example. They love it. So you know that you're gonna sell it. You're gonna be challenged a little bit with different genre, with I don't know, thriller, an Arabic thriller, if it's not done properly. And when I say done properly, I don't mean that it's not shot properly or we didn't pay enough. No, I mean what the OTT is looking for. They're looking for blood, or they're looking for pure suspense, or those. So it's a little bit more challenging selling content, ready-made content to OTT platforms. If going back to Sinan's point at the beginning of this discussion, if the OTT did not actually select what they want, and they did a pre-sale before the production, the production step.
Yeah, thank you. I will allow myself to comment that sometimes relying too much on data analytics will limit new ideas, will limit, you know. So thank God now I know it's only 50% for you.
Yes, and the
Yeah,
new trends, I mean, new things are happening in the region. I mean, let's be realistic.
yeah, yeah.
Korean
Let's
content
open,
is being,
yeah, let's open
yes,
the door for new things.
Yes, Korean content is being it's a very, very attractive content for us, and especially in the Saudi market, especially with Gen Z, for example.
Yeah,
If you're gonna rely only on analytics, it doesn't show anywhere.
of course.
Anyway, somebody told me a story that there's 100,000 Saudi that speaks Korean. I was
Seriously.
surprised. I was surprised. I'm not sure about the numbers. I did not see the numbers, but I've been hearing that there's a huge number, 100,000. That's a lot of people who speaks a language that is not a business language and it's not a love language.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking about languages, the next question will be for you, Rony, and it's about languages. What role does localization play in your distribution strategy?
It's very interesting, very, very interesting. Now we all know that the series from the 90s, we got the South American series, we translated it into formal Arabic, it worked, and then the Syrian accent is taking over all the Turkish series, and um, so when it comes to series, we all know that. What we do when it comes to movies, we are discovering different ways. Definitely, it's way easier when it comes to kids content, like animation, because you can animate any, I mean, you can localize any animation in any language that you want, and it's gonna look beautiful. The challenge is localizing a Russian action movie. That's a challenge.
I totally agree.
All right. And we're doing it, and it's working. Now, definitely, and you know, Zena, it's what you do. It should have, the script should be very small. The action scenes should be way more than the script. You should choose a proper localization company. You should choose the right, especially when you localize into American. I mean, if you choose a wrong accent, you can't watch the movie. But if you, it's working very well. It's working very well. But the number of movies that we are localizing outside of kids content is only few. You will be surprised that localizing fashion and lifestyle content is becoming a trend because we don't have enough in the Arab world. Only the other day I watched a Ukrainian cooking show on one of the OTT platforms. And for somebody who doesn't cook, I mean, it was very clear. The lip sync was amazing. And I think localization, you know what, Zena, I would like to highlight something. Disney started localizing in Arabic a while ago, and it's doing very, very well. And I know for a fact that they are looking to localize in Saudi, in a Saudi accent right now. Everybody's going there. And the minute this is going to happen, it's going to be a game changer to Disney, because when you localize properly for a 35 million population, it's going to be a game-changing experience.
Yes, of course, I totally agree. The next question will be for Sinan. How does Writable integrate new technologies and platforms into its distribution strategies?
Well, Zena, this is what Writables is mostly about, is integrating new technologies to help solve the problems that we have, the problems that we discussed over the last hours. And well, definitely, I believe that we are developing like the AI tool that I told you about. So we're excited about that, and it will help writers. It will be like an assistant writer next to them, and it will help in generating storyboards. It will help in optimizing budget. So definitely we are integrating a lot of things. We're trying to start collecting data outside of our internal company. And yeah, all of these things are pushing us towards, I believe, the right direction.
And what trends are you seeing in the types of content that are most successful in digital distribution?
See, this is a very ironic thing. So you cannot hide a beautiful show. يعني in Arabic we say الحلو ما بيخبي حاله يعني. So the trends are usually like, let's say we have a show that is a completely different genre from all the genres that we have been watching for the past 5 years, just like Squid Games, for example. It went and it took over the whole industry. It's trending, it's number one. For a significant amount of time after the release of that title, as Writables, we will start receiving an enormous amount of scripts that revolve around a game being played with, I don't know what. So trends are always there. There is no doubt about this. But the main genres, let's call them, that are taking over, they are location dependent. So from, let's say, KSA, we have comedy and social drama. Those are main. In the Levant, let's say Syria, Lebanon, action, mafia-related content, the hero figure, it's always taking precedence over other titles. Egypt, comedy, the hero from the basic neighborhood, these kind of things. So it's location. It depends on the location of the original script, and the trends are all over. And this actually take us back to the earlier question you asked, Zena. Yeah, we should go out of the data collection, and we should have the heart and the guts to invest in something completely different, completely outside of the market norms, and we will definitely be surprised by the data that title will generate.
Yes, I would love to see us like seeing things differently than the classification
Exactly.
you just gave us. Like the for this area we have this. La, I think we have more to show. We have more to produce. Back to
100%,
Rony.
yes.
Yeah, back to Rony. What new opportunities do you foresee for independent filmmakers and the current distribution environment?
You just touched a nerve. Or whomever asked that question. I mean, thank you very much. I'm gonna be very, very bold about this, and I know it's debatable. Independent filmmakers should be supported 10 times more, from funding to production to sales and distribution. We should see more local content traveling through festivals, because one, it's moving us around the world through art, which is amazing, in a world full of misery and sadness. So we should seriously invest more. I'm always so excited to see more independent movies. Now, yet again, I said it's very debatable because I'm commercially driven, right? I'm a distributor, so I'm commercially driven. So I want the movie to make me money, and we all know that independent films are not, they can make a lot of money, but they are not, the main purpose of independent movies is not to make money, is to deliver a message, is to deliver an art piece on the big screen. And that art piece should travel all around the world. So, and I said it's personal because to me, I mean, when when you take off the hat, the commercial hat, and you really want to enjoy art in movies, you start watching independent movies.
Yeah, you might be surprised that art can make money also.
That's what I said. I mean, in general, it's not gonna make money. Now, every now and then, yes, it is gonna make very good money.
Give it a chance.
Very good money, yes. But
Yeah.
there's something more important over here. I mean, taking your art and traveling around the world in festivals. it's very important for us in the Arab world today. It was always important. It's as important as it is for the French, for the Germans, for the Bulgarians, for everybody else. And I think we have excellent filmmakers. We have excellent scriptwriters. If you just go, and I urge everybody who's watching, go to Sinan's platform and go through the projects that they have over there. They have collected, it's like going to a store where you can find everything that you love to read and everything that you find over there, and have a look at the variety of content that they have. I urge everybody to go through all the platforms available and YouTube and start watching all the Arabic art movies that has been done for the past 10 years. Some of them are really, really good, and some of them are good. But to answer your question in very, very, very simple sentence, we should invest more, all of us. We should look at them we should look at those movies and those movie makers from a non-commercial perspective, and we should look at it from a show-off perspective. They should use their content to show off who they are and travel the world with it.
Okay, the next question will be also for you and Sinan. How do you see the role of traditional movie theaters evolving in the next 5 years?
Better and better and better and better and better and bigger, and technology is gonna be great. And no, OTT are not taking over. No, we're there.
What do you think, Sinan?
To a certain point, I definitely agree with Rony, and I believe there will be a shift towards changing the cinema in a sense of making it as an experience. And we're already seeing this from the 4D kind of theaters to enjoying dinner while you're watching a movie, to the cinemas that has like a bed or a very comfortable types of seating. So cinema is an experience. We don't go to the cinemas just to watch a movie. So definitely OTT will not take over cinemas. We go there to enjoy a family gathering, to enjoy a date, it's an experience by itself. So I agree with Rony, but I believe that there will be certain shifts into the number of experiences that will be available. Like, let's say we have 5 types of experiences as of today. It will be more in the upcoming years. This is what I believe.
If you allow me, Zena, to highlight something, as I mentioned in my presentation at the beginning, that Saudi Arabia is still a baby when it comes to cinema. They need at least 5 to 10 years to mature, and they're growing super fast. And they're bringing all the technology out there. I'm not advertising for anybody right now, but you know that Vox Cinemas in the UAE, they have just launched a new cinema last week. It's a television experience. It's not a theatrical screen. It's like a huge television. I did not try it yet. I'm going to try it this weekend, but I am sure that that experience is going to be amazing. Dolby, Dolby is pushing the limits every single year with the sound system that they have in the cinemas. I think outdoor cinemas in the season, we have a couple of outdoor cinemas. We're going to have even more outdoor cinema. And Sinan, I cannot agree more that going to the cinema is an experience from the minute you enter to the minute you leave. Numbers, as I also showed in the presentation when we start, numbers are showing us that theatrical entertainment in the Arab world is still on, and it's still growing. And I don't think we're slowing down when it comes to theatrical experience.
Yeah, and I would like to add one last point, Rony. Popcorn and nachos, man. Like, come on. Yeah.
How can you go to the cinema and don't
exactly
and
exactly
wait, I'll teach you a trick. Mix it with M&M, and when it's dark, while you're eating popcorn, you'll be surprised by M&Ms every now and then.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Now I have another question for both of you guys. It might be it's about the past. We discussed this, I know, but The question is, how has movie distribution landscape evolved over the past few years, especially with the rise of digital platforms? So it's about the past 5 years and the digital platforms.
Zena, we already I mean
I
covered
know.
but let's focus on it. Let's focus on it. What happened for the past 5 years? Something big happened. COVID, correct?
And the next question is about COVID, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the past 5 years, COVID happened. And digital platforms have decided to invest more in their original production. And they have decided...
So in what ways did COVID pandemic accelerate changes in movies distribution?
That's what I'm explaining right now.
Yeah.
So they have decided to invest more in their original production. And they have decided to invest more in exclusivity content. Because it's a war.
Yeah.
Now, getting a subscriber might be easy. Maintaining that subscriber is very challenging. So you have to have enough attractive content in order to keep that subscriber. Now, for us as content owners and as distributors, we are, in order to convince the OTT platforms to buy our content, because they're doing their own right now, correct? So, but it's not enough. They need a lot. So when they do their own, they're getting subscribers. When they buy from us, they're keeping those subscribers. Okay? So we discovered that this is, I mean, this was very, very focused after COVID because cinema was on hold. That was the only revenue. And we all focused on what those guys want. And they focused on what they want because everybody was focusing on them. So from my side, I think this was the major focus on, this is what a little bit tailored the way we are doing distribution with OTT platforms. It did not change, but it tailored the way we're doing distribution.
Sinan, do you want to add or comment or say anything?
I believe Rony said it all, yeah.
Yeah. The next question is for you, Sinan. How is Writable addressing the demand for localized content in the MENA region?
What do you mean by localized content?
Okay, localized content, I mean translated content. When you see the dubbed one, the Turkish one, the like
I understand.
Turkish drama and
I got your question, and it's a very good question. We're thinking of opening a new platform. So technically now we have two main platforms on our platform, which is the TV series and the movies, and those are all original content. So we're gonna open very soon a third one, which is specifically for that, where we sign with different foreigner production houses to monetize their IP. So we will have a platform where you can go in and you can see tested and tried products from different countries, and we will offer to adapt or localize that certain title once we have a production house or an end client on board.
We are friends, but we will become friends more.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Yeah. My next question will be for Rony. What trends do you see emerging in movie distribution that are particularly promising for the future of the industry?
Can you please repeat?
What trends do you see emerging in movie distribution that are particularly promising for the future of the industry? Sorry, but now I'm reading the coming questions, guys. So if you want me to repeat, I will repeat again.
No, but I'm sorry, I did not understand the question.
Okay, again, they are asking about the trends you see and that are promising. Do you see any promising trends coming in the industry when it comes to movie distribution?
It's not basically a trend, but it's something that is happening today, and I think that people are focusing on it even more, is what we discussed at the beginning. Availing more raw content for OTT platforms for them to select from a script point of view. So all the production is actually done for a specific reason and for calculated clients. What do I mean? We should push more, and I think not we. I think the market is going more towards raw material selection. And this is what Sinan platform is all about. And that is what we also do. We create content from scratch. We show it to OTT platforms, and they select what they want, and we deliver. And this will guarantee the sale. This will guarantee the distribution, basically. And at the same time, it will minimize the challenges of finding a proper platform for a content that is just made according to somebody's mood or, I don't know, somebody's investment. So in
Yes,
brief,
so
I'm not sure if I'm answering the question because the question is not very clear to me.
yeah,
But I think
I
that's the closest answer. So there is no trends in distribution. We're not gonna put our movies on a platform where OTT gonna go and select, and this doesn't work. It should be pitched properly. It should be pitched according to certain specific database. It should be pitched at a specific time when the budget is available. There is so many factors when it comes to distribution. But the only thing that is going faster than we are used to is platforms selecting content from scratch from people like us, like content creators or script writers. Or
yeah, I think we covered like the past, present, and future now. My last question will be for Sinan. This is the last question I just received. How is Writables fostering collaboration between local talent and international filmmakers through its comprehensive service offering like script evaluation, talent database, and IP certifications?
So technically, also it's we need to break down the question. So collaboration between local talent and local people and international clients, let's say, this depends on the supply and the demand. So if we have an amazing script that is written, let's say, in English or in French, and it will require us to go and find a certain end client that is interested in that genre, then definitely this is the direction that will be. But we cannot guarantee that they will be interested in that specific title. And if we want to discuss it from the other point of view, if let's say we have an end client that has a lot of titles, intellectual property, I mean, and all of these shows already produced in, let's say, Russia, the States, Europe, and they want to localize them or adapt them to the local market, then definitely we can help. And this is one of the things that we are doing and the services that we're given. And as of today, on our platform, we have around 1,000 writers who are registered. And from those 1,000 people, we have filtered them, let's say, those people are good in comedy, those people are good in action, and depending on the requirement of the project, we will assess to close the collaboration between the best team that we can have and the requirement of that specific project. And when it comes to intellectual property certification, I always say this, we're comparing the method that we are doing with the traditional method. So any content creator traditionally wants his script to be read by an executive, a production house, a video on demand. And the only way to do that, to reach, is by sending this through emails, WhatsApp messages, all of that. Now, our new method is technically you go online, you submit your project. Your project will not be published until we have an IP certificate, which means that technically you own the script. So this is a very important check that we need to do. And once any script is online on a platform, we create what we call a digital footprint for that script. So technically it is protected in a certain way. So I believe this is the answer. I'm not sure if I understood the question correctly, but like this is what I understood.
Thank you. It was you covered everything in details. Thank you so much, Sinan.
Great, thank you,
And
Zena.
thank you, guys. It was really amazing and interesting discussion today. That's it for today. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And special thank for you, Rony and Sinan, for joining today and to give this amazing input. It was really informative. For me, it was educational. And in case you didn't watch the full session, guys, a recorded one will be, for this webinar, will be published on the DICM.AE website by next week. And and I will give you like a little bit information about the next webinar. That will be a streaming platform, global expansion and localization. And will stream live on the 17th of June. And in case you don't know already, Dubai International Content Market will be taking place from 12 to 13 of November this year. For more information, you can visit the website, DICM.AE. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Zena. Thank you. It was
Thanks
a
to you
pleasure.
guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.